Bob, out here on Colorado Boulevard, we've got a lot of Shirley Temple fans that are anxiously awaiting the start of the parade. You know, year after year, the most enthusiastic cheers seem to come from a crowd of Cal Poly Tech students. They come from Cal Poly Pomona and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and they have the only float that's totally a student effort. They even grow their own flowers, and no one's won the award for animation more than they have. With me now is Wayne Hittinger. He is from Cal Poly Pomona. Describe your float for us and tell us about the animation we're going to see today.
This year's float is called Parading Around, and it's a young lady, age about 7 or 8. She's on her tricycle pulling her wagon full of animals. So basically she's having her own little parade. She's playing her instruments, and animation-wise, every instrument on the entire float moves. The drum bangers, the cymbals, the pinwheel, and the back, the wagon full of animals. The dog goes from 14 feet to 22.5 feet high. All the cats move, heads move, paws move, all tails move, and the cans on the back drag along waggling.
You put terrific effort into this. I understand 25,000 volunteer hours are contributed. When do you guys ever go to classes?
Well, we try to go to classes as much as possible, but now and then you miss a class and the teacher says, well, you'll make it up, and he makes sure you make it up. But
how does it work, splitting the work on putting the float together between the two campuses?
Well, in the beginning of the year, we try to decide who's going to build what, and sometimes we'll build parts for each half, but we usually split the float somewhere in the middle as much as possible. And a lot of phone calls, a lot of fax machine sending back and forth, drawings, and a lot of transportation from campus to campus.
We can't wait. It's going to be a terrific float, and wait till you see it in 3D. Let's go back now to Nancy Nelson. Nancy?
Now, this young girl is the star of her own parade, and the neighborhood pets are determined to join the fun. From the Cal Poly Universities, this float, called Paradin' Around, was conceived, designed, constructed, flowered, and funded by an all-volunteer workforce of several hundred students from the Pomona and St. Luis Obispo campuses. Half the float was built at each campus, and the St. Luis Obispo portion travels 240 miles to Pomona's Rose Float Lab at Thanksgiving to be joined at the Tulips.
And it's none the worse for wear. Look at this. Isn't this fun? The Cal Poly students always have a marvelous time with their floats for the parade. And that's when they're not involved in hijinks at the game itself, as you know.
This is the Founders Trophy winner for the most outstanding entry in the self-built classification. Cal Poly, always a favorite. The universities at Pomona and San Luis Obispo get together around Thanksgiving and bring us two parts of one float. It's called Paradin' Around. They've traditionally been most technically innovative. This year, no exception. The young girl in front was pedaling her bike. The drum is beating, the triangle and the cymbals move. The dog is howling. The cats play with a bell. And the cat in back is lunging to grab the cans. You see how it all works together.
You can hear the crowd.
Animation.
Directly across from us, all the Cal Poly people usually sit. And if tradition holds up, as they go by here, the float will empty some water right on the members of Cal Poly.
Look at how that knee works. There's a primary computer inside the float, plus a backup unit that runs all the animation. 8 people inside the float, 2 drivers, 6 people to oversee the animation. It's a total student effort, including growing their own flowers and doing their own fundraising.
A double.
Cal Poly coming up next. Cal Poly University's Paradin' Around, the float is called.
They got the Founders Trophy, Jim, for best self-built.
Well, it was made in 2 pieces at the 2 different campuses of Cal Poly, Pomona and San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, they're 250 miles apart, but they made the front part on one campus, the rear end on another campus, and brought them together.
Front part at San Luis Obispo, the rear at Pomona. Want to know how they did it? Well, let's take a look at that.
Yeah, 90% of the flowers used on the floats were grown right on both campuses. They started out with their design.
There was the framework. You can't believe the work that go into these floats. The ideas for next year's float are already in place, and they'll start building, or some of them, start drawing plans and things in February.
You can see how they had to get all of the different hydraulic systems in order to make these heads move up and down. You can see the little puppy dog there back in the back. This little girl has her own one-woman band.
And
You hear them cheering, Polly, Polly. Well, this little girl has her own ideas of what a parade should be, and I say she's just about right. Parading around is Cal Poly University's 41st Rose Parade float. And as always, they amaze us with their innovations. And you can hear the cheers going up. Those are the Cal Poly students standing and cheering for their float. They've all spent hundreds and hundreds of hours making this float work and decorating it.
Yes, indeed, and they deserve credit for winning the Founders Trophy, the most outstanding entry built by members of the community or organizations presenting the float. A renovated animation system makes its debut here this year. Sophisticated microcomputer is the float's brain, small enough, by the way, to fit into a toaster oven.
Well, every year they have amazing animation, and they seem to always win awards for it, too. But the two campuses actually divide the floats each year. One half is built on one campus, the other half on the other campus, and then they somehow bring it all together in the last weeks before the parade to present such great entertainment for us on New Year's morning.
Yeah, those students from Cal Poly's two campuses, San Luis Obispo and Pomona, where the front half was built up in San Luis Obispo, and the back half, the cart with the animals, it was made at the Pomona campus of California Polytechnic Institute.
And there is actually what's driving this and making all of the animation work is a computer the size of a toaster oven. That is the brain, so to speak.
Hardly possible.
El premio de los fundadores va a la mejor presentación floral creada por voluntarios, y todos son voluntarios estudiantes de las universidades Cal Poly de California, las que presentan este carruaje que tiene animación y que lleva el título de Desfilando. Casi todas las flores, María Elena, que se usan en este carruaje vienen originalmente de los dos campuses de la Universidad Cal Poly.
Así es. El año pasado también fueron ganadores con el premio de los fundadores, que es el segundo año consecutivo que se ganan este mismo premio.
Mucha animación, todo está perfectamente coordinado. Pueden ver las ruedas. Son de verdad, o sea, esas son las ruedas con el cual se le está dando propulsión al carruaje.
Bueno, las universidades Cal Poly tienen ya mucha experiencia en este tipo de eventos. Han participado 41 veces en